Lo tamod adam re'echa.
This Shabbat is special in this community as well, as we call this day, Teens Take the Bima, and the youth shall see visions. We join congregations around Chicago and really around the country, Reformed, conservative, and traditional synagogues on this Shabbat, to ask our teens to reflect deeply and openly and honestly around the conversation of gun violence prevention in this country, in our schools, and in our communities. And I would invite all of us, whether their messages resonate deeply with you or they don't, we model what it means to live in community, to hear each other, and to be present for each other as they share their words today.
Shabbat announcements, you'll find the words from Torah, Leviticus chapter 19. In the middle, in the box that says music, the words are, Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Do not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. Before we learn this song together, know that these are words that we must live by today. We must, ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha, love our neighbors as ourselves, treat others with dignity and respect. In a time where some regard my generation as being apathetic, it is evident by those standing up here, or sitting up here and standing up here later, by the young people you see on the news and the thousands that will fill the streets tomorrow, that this is not the case. That we all must take action, and we no longer can stand idly by. But we all must take action together, so I ask that we sing these words together. I'm going to help you learn the song. It's a song that I wrote with my father, Lee Friedman. So the words are on the page there. They're Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. It sounds like this. Listen first and try it after me. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Let me hear you all sing that much. We have to sing this together in order for it to work. So please sing with me. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Excellent. Then it repeats pretty much the same, but the ending is a little different. So just listen one more time. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. So that's a different ending. Let's go back to the very beginning. So we'll sing it through twice all together. Let me please hear your voices with me. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Next, we can sing in English the words, don't stand by, take action, just like this. Don't stand by, don't stand by, don't stand by, take action. Try it with me. Don't stand by, don't stand by, don't stand by, take action. Don't stand by, don't stand by, don't stand by, take action. Lo ta'amod all together. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Don't stand by, don't stand by, don't stand by, take action. Don't stand by, don't stand by, don't stand by, take action.
My name is Lev Grosshandler, and I'm a 12th grader at Highland Park High School. As a high school student, I'm shocked and saddened by not only the Parkland shooting, but the over 85 other campus-related shooting incidents that occurred in 2017 and the first few months of 2018. School campuses are supposed to be a place of education, a place where you spend a lot of your time during the formative years of your life, and most importantly, a place of safety. I'm grateful to say that I feel safe at my high school, but I do occasionally think about what I would do if a dangerous situation were to occur. I sometimes think about whether I would run or hide, and if I were to run, which exit would I take? What's interesting is that they used to tell us to hide in the corner, turn the lights off, and be quiet. Now they're telling us to be more proactive. If you think you can make it out, run. If the intruder enters the room, throw desks and fight back. I appreciate this new philosophy, at least at my school, because I think it's a way of saying we're ready. We're not going to stand down if something happens. We're going to do something about it. When the news of Parkland broke, I felt angry and frustrated. I turned to my peers in youth group, my teachers, my friends at school, and my family for guidance. I was able to talk to them about how I was feeling and ways to channel that emotion into something positive. These are the people who I know will be there for me whenever I need help or advice. What I want adults in this community to do is to use your power, your connections, and your time to contact your local legislators to see if they're aware of the most current laws intended to limit gun violence, and to see if they're co-signed to common sense legislation laws. I encourage you to express your opinion on this issue on social media, with your friends and families, and by participating in activities like the March for Our Lives downtown tomorrow. No one wants anything remotely like this to happen again, so we must make sure that we're doing our best to fulfill that. Bottom line is that we shouldn't live in fear. Life is short, and we need to live it while it lasts.
We watch the news after each senseless act of violence. We feel pain as though we ourselves were the victims. Every time someone is murdered, we ourselves are offended. God is offended, for we are all inextricably linked. We are one as we recite the Shema, we raise our voice, and collectively affirm the oneness of our God.
My name is Jacqueline Hirsch, and I am a junior at Highland Park High School. As you know, school has been a hot topic in the news, and for no good reason. We've experienced many school shootings, and Parkland was shocking. It is an important moment in our country's history and the conversation around gun violence prevention. As a high school student, learning this can be hard to hear and make school a hard place to come to every day because as a student, it's scary to learn. As we learned from Parkland, school shootings can happen anywhere, and that's what makes students' anxiety to come to school a lot worse. What's even scarier is that Highland Park High School's fire alarm went off at the same time as Parkland's did. As a student, this makes me question what protocols schools have when fire alarms go off. How do we know for sure if it's safe to go outside during a fire alarm? I've questioned this, and I hope students across the nation and even the globe question school protocols like the fire alarm and other laws set in place to protect us, and I hope they voice them. I know students across the nation are scared to go to school, including myself, and if we work together and voice ourselves, we can make our schools safer.
My name is Molly Handelman, and I'm a junior at Highland Park High School. I wanted to talk about the trip I went on with North Shore Congregation's youth group. About a little over a month ago, I had the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. to attend the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism's Latakin Social Justice Seminar. I spent the weekend interacting with 500 teens all over the country. We got to discuss some of the most significant issues we have in our country and how it connects to Judaism. The purpose of this weekend was to prepare a speech to say in front of the senators and congressmen who represent our district. Together, we lobbied on topics such as gun violence, voting rights, and more. I decided to write my speech on gun violence prevention. About 3 weeks after I presented my speech, I got an email from Congressman Schreiner's legislative director. I was eager to hear that because of my speech and my ideas, upon my request, Brad Snyder asked to co-sponsor H.R. 3464, the Background Check Completion Act. I couldn't believe that an ordinary teenager like me could make such a difference. I hope one day everyone will get to experience of really being heard by a person who has strong authority to help make a change in the world.
My name is Zach Coplin. Guns are powerful. We all know that. But as a senior in high school, I feel that it is a metaphor for everything that we cannot accomplish in politics. Lawmakers are not the ones losing health care. They have amazing health care plans. And they are not the ones in our schools across the nation that are constantly affected by gun violence. Let's stop having people who are not being affected by gun violence trying to say what is or is not a problem. We high schoolers are the ones seeing the frustration, worries, and fears of our peers. If it could happen in an affluent, close-knit community like Parkland, why couldn't it happen here too? But why won't lawmakers listen to us? For one, the majority of us cannot vote. However, we can persuade millions of people affiliated with both political parties to vote in support of our interests, to protect future generations. Many lawmakers are trying to realize the power that young people have on current elections and that they need our support, the support of future voters. Another reason that politicians ignore young people is that we do not have money to donate to their campaigns. But what we can do is encourage others who are older than us to recognize that this is a crucial moment in history, and now is the time to donate money to organizations that support goals such as common sense gun reform. As a young adult, I would encourage you to look beyond your own lives and into the lives of future generations. I would like to live in a world where my children do not have mass shootings at a constant pace. How can we end gun violence now to make schools and their students safer? By uniting as a community to urge our elected officials to make the right choices, we are putting our society on a path towards a brighter future.
My name is Spencer Farber. I'm an 8th grader at Shepherd Middle School. All right. A little under 300. That's how many school shootings there have been since Sandy Hook in 2013. Let that sink in for a moment. Almost 300. When Sandy Hook occurred, I'm sure we were all outraged that a tragedy where 26 people were killed was able to happen in our country, and yet nothing was done, as evidenced by that one number, almost 300. Legislators promised more. Barack Obama promised to try and enact stronger gun laws. Congress rejected those efforts. Then Donald Trump was elected. He had stronger ties to the NRA. Sure enough, gun laws were relaxed. School shootings continued to happen. Then there was the Stoneman Douglas shooting. It's hard to believe that occurred only over 1 month ago. People finally started to listen. We thought finally that there may be a better way to prevent these shootings, that maybe stronger action on mental health, another giant factor in shootings, would take place. We are tired of only condolences being given out. We need more. We need change for the better. We need to be able to protect students. Instead, there's a proposed action to arm school teachers. Arming school teachers would just make teachers worse. It could potentially bring up the number of shootings we see. One example is the fact that a teacher could have an outburst and accidentally shoot a student in rage. Another example could be a student stealing the gun. It wouldn't be hard for a student to figure out where the gun was kept. All it would take would be a bathroom break by a teacher, a substitute teacher, or someone else creating a distraction in the background to create a school shooting. The access for kids to find them is just too great. You never know how good of a shooter the teacher is. Maybe they aim for the gunman and hit an innocent bystander instead, creating more potential chaos. School is a place where you should feel safe, but arming teachers personally make me more scared, more unsafe. I'm going to be transitioning into a different topic. My fellow students, you can make an impact in so many ways. Has anyone threatened you or someone you know, made violent remarks? Report them. There's no harm that can come out of it. You never know whether someone was joking or can be serious, and you can be preventing the next tragedy. See what the students in Florida did? Marching, advocating, making change. You can do the same. Call your congressman. Go to City Hall. There are so many ways to affect the fight. Washington will listen to what they hear most. If the NRA is calling every day and saying, we need less gun reform, who will they listen to? But if we call every day, they'll understand that the people want change. The people want stricter mental health and gun laws. Will you be part of the movement?
My name is Nathan Weisskopf, and I am a freshman at Highland Park High School. So first, I'd like to start out by thanking all my fellow youth group members who have spoken before me and who will speak soon, I think, and to Rabbi Daniels and Isaac who helped set this whole, opportunity to express ourselves. And so today, we've all spoken about gun control, and now I guess it's my turn. So gun control is incredibly potent to me. And I, being a freshman, have just started out my high school career, and the idea of possible school massacres and danger in my classroom and turning in homework on time is just terrifying. And it's just very intriguing to think how, wow, it could happen here. It could happen today, it could happen next week, it could happen in 10 minutes. Recently, I participated in my school's walkout on the 14th, which mirrored the ones that happened nationwide. We walked to Port Clinton and listened to numerous speeches from our fellow students who helped organize this event. After the events at Parkland, I thought to myself, wow, another one. And I immediately stopped myself. Another one. Why would I think that? This has happened so often in my early life that I have just grown to adjust to this lifestyle of, okay, here's another one, let's continue. You know, just talk about it for a week, learn about it, hear about what happened, hear the testimonies, learn about this horrible person that could perform these atrocities, and then move on with our lives. And something like a place like Parkland, which is an affluent community, someplace similar to, Highland Park, where I go to my high school, it's just terrifying. And I've heard many comparisons about the communities there. And when we first set this up, we were told not to make this a political rally, and that's not going to be my job for today. But this gun control is a major subject, so important in my life, in that it's something I truly care about. So thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to us teens, for us speaking up and making a difference. You have no idea how much this means to us. Toda rabah.
Thank you all so much. This is Shabbat Hagadol, the big Shabbat, as it were. Our Jewish tradition teaches us that the Shabbat before Passover is the biggest one of the year, the most important one. Traditionally, the rabbi delivers the longest sermon of the year this night. I am not giving a sermon right now. I'm transitioning to Aleinu, so don't worry. But we decided to make the biggest sermon of the year the words of our teenagers. The Haftarah we read on Shabbat Hagadol is from the prophet Malachi. And it is a haftarah which envisions a world to come, a world when the Messiah will come. And what is the sign, says the haftarah, when the Messiah will have arrived? It will be when the hearts of parents turn toward their children, and the hearts of children turn toward their parents, and then we will be as one. Our children this night have invited us to turn our hearts toward them. They have turned their hearts toward us. Whatever we believe politically, wherever we fall on the spectrum, all of us share the value that children should not have to live in fear, that fear cannot be what governs the day. Children, you still are mostly children, except those of you who turned 18, Lev, basically. But I'll still count you as a child until you graduate from college, at least. For each and all of you, I want to thank you for inviting us into your hearts, for enabling us to turn our hearts toward you. We invite you not to lose faith in the grown-ups in the world and to continue to invite us into your world so that together we can repair this thing we call the earth and make it a better place.